That's much better. What's up, you guys? Welcome to my workout. Today is February the 15th, 2024. This is my actual workout. It's not meant to be a tutorial, instructional, nor a recommendation to do what I'm doing. A lot of what I'm doing is not necessarily the best way to do things. It's just the way I do things, and this is for informational purposes only. It's also been 5 days since I started my peptide therapy with BPC 157 and TB 500. I've also received my shipment from Merrick Health of tesamorelin. It's another peptide, and I just started that 2 days ago. So I got 3 peptides going right now, just to be fully transparent with you guys. Today I'm going to be doing something I can't remember the last time I did a burpee, and so I'm going to be working on a burpee today. I do a type of burpee, I guess it's called a tuck burpee. I'll explain when I actually do it, but I'm doing this most of the exercises I'm choosing to do while I'm in the midst of this peptide experiment are exercises that I tend to avoid because they're difficult for me and they kind of hurt sometimes. The point of this is not to destroy myself. It's going to look destructive what I'm doing, and I will be jumping on concrete, but I've been jumping on concrete a long time, and yeah, maybe that's why I'm kind of sore. But you know, the pain I talk about, it's negotiable. I can actually let me put it like this: if I don't do certain things, the pain gets worse. So even though this looks like it'd be damaging and destructive and painful, when I'm done with most of the exercises I do feel better, and not just the day after, for many days. Anyway, I'm gonna get started, and let me tell you what's going on real quick. My left wrist, this is the maximum extension I get on it. It is capable of going farther, okay? So it's not damaging my wrist to do push-ups and things like that, but it just feels a little bit, it doesn't feel that great. And you know all about my knees. My knees are kind of hit or miss. They're feeling pretty good today. So I'm just gonna go show you how I'm gonna progress into this tuck jump burpee. And like I said, it's been a long time, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. All right. Whew, getting up was pretty good. Okay. So I'm just going to start with, it's always good to start with a body weight squat. And right now, this is the range of motion that my knees want to work in. I can easily get into this position, easily get out. All right, at the top of every squat, I try to, if my hips are a pot and my chest or my body's a plant, I want to make sure that my plant is growing straight out of my pot, and then I'm going to tilt the whole thing and try to maintain that without overarching my lower back. All right, and just doing and I know a lot of people do burpees for numbers, but the type of burpee I'm doing, I never do it till I'm exhausted, because once I start getting tired on this or other impact-based exercises, that's when I'm not able to properly absorb shock, and that's when I start damaging my body. So the whole purpose of everything I'm going to be doing is moving as smoothly as I can without accumulating too much fatigue. Okay, so warming up the push-up. If it's been a long time since you've done push-ups, or like me, you just have certain issues in joints or muscles, just go to the range of motion that's easy to get into and easy to get out of. Now, on my push-ups here, I'm actually trying to protract my shoulder blades or move them away from my spine, And I'm gonna make, so it's a type of compensation, but that it allows me to put symmetrical weight into each of my hands. So from this top position, you might notice this tortoise shell position in my upper back and my tailbone's tucked. That ensures that my core is supporting as much of my weight as possible, and that takes stress off of both my wrists, as well as this tortoise shell protracted position. Now I'm gonna retract my shoulder blades so that I'm making space in the shoulder blades, or I'm making space with the shoulder blades that I lack in the wrist, if that makes any sense. Okay, and okay, and just doing a few of those. Once again, on my warm-ups, I never get tired on anything. Just preparing the nervous system, also the arterial walls, for what's to come. When I'm warming up, I take into account my vascular system, particularly the ability of the walls of my arteries to pressurize against whatever demands I'm placing on them. So if I do that properly, and that's the allowance I make, then the rest of my body, my joints, my tendons, soft or connective tissue, and my muscles, they tend to warm up pretty well. Okay, so I'm gonna go one more time on the push-up, see if I can get a little deeper. My wrist is feeling better already. One thing when I'm doing push-ups, to prevent my elbows from going out to the side, I learned this from Daniel Vadnal of Fitness FAQs. It's really helped me out a lot. I don't focus on lowering myself down so much. I focus on moving my head forward, as if there's a wall above my head, I'm trying to reach for that wall with my head. And if you ever have trouble feeling your chest on push-ups, sorry, but this is, for me, that's a really good way of feeling at least my chest. So, okay. On the break here, I'll show you how crappy my shoulder mobility is. So, horizontal abduction is right here. If I'm going overhead, I'm starting to feel restriction here. I can force it up to here, but I gotta bend my elbows. I guess my lats a little bit tight. Okay, but that's okay. All right, now I'm gonna go back into push-ups position. I wanna get ready for the burpee itself. So in order to do a burpee, what works for me is I use the push-up to get my feet as close to my hands as possible. So it's not just a push-up and then jumping my feet close to my hands. I'm just gonna do a shallow push-up and try to coordinate the following. Let me start over. I'm gonna try to coordinate the following two movements. Enough push-up to do that, all right? Gonna do that one more time. So right now, if all my body wants to do is this much push-up, I just need to push up, descend deep enough so that I can explosively get my feet somewhere, okay? I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. And I'm standing up after each rep because that makes me tired. Yeah, I'm telling you guys the truth. I don't do hundreds and hundreds of burpees, all right? That's all I'm trying to do. And if it's been a while since you've done burpees and you want to give them a try, just go really easy on them. Just one rep at a time, break everything down, into segments, and then you can start putting things together from there. So, okay, that's a shallow push-up with a short jump, and that's easy. You want to make everything easy. If you start easy and you're real cool to your body will trust you to go farther. Hey, my body just told me it's trusting me to go farther, so I'm going to go into a slightly fuller expression. So, okay, and my feet wanted to turn out. That's not necessarily the most optimal jumping position, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I'm going to let my body do what it wants to do, because it was a good sport about getting my feet closer to my hands on that push-up. Once again. Okay, so for me, the goal in a burpee, or what I have found is helpful, is if I can use that push-up to get my feet almost where my hands used to be, it's a lot easier for me to stand up and do whatever I want after that. So, okay, and that was easy to stand up. If I don't do that, if I segment the burpee and I do a push-up, and then I gotta try to figure out how to get my leg, I'm lucky if I can get here, and then all of my weight that's hanging out here, I now have to go, and that sucks. So the push-up should be used to get the feet as close to where the hands used to be as possible. So if I do this, I almost automatically can stand up, okay? So if you struggle with burpees and you haven't made it the goal of your push-up to use your push-up to get your feet as close to where your hands used to be, that's a lot of why your burpees might suck for you. At least it sucks for me that way. So once again, okay. So now that I've got that going, I'm now gonna add a little bit of a jump. Now right now, let me just demonstrate my cold jump. Like, okay, that was an okay jump. You know, it's not what it's not going to win me any prizes, but that's what my body wants to do right now. When I jump, no matter what it is, jump rope, box jumps, jumping on pavement, any jump I do, to me, what's the most important, way more important than the jump, is how gently I land. I want to land as much like a cat as I can, because the more sound I make when I land, that means the more energy my muscle system did not absorb, so therefore the remaining energy some of it goes into the ground, making the noise, the rest goes through my bones and my connective tissue. And while everyone can take a few of those, that is not ideal. So when I jump, the landing, the deceleration is way more important than how high I jump or how many times I can jump. In younger years, I could play with that, but now all I want is to get those shock absorbers ready. Jumping is not bad for you. It's landing hard under fatigue. I feel that's bad for you. So that's why when I finally get up to this, if I do, I'm not really gonna be doing a lot of reps. I might do 1, maybe 3, who knows? Okay, so here, and here's another part. For a lot of people, once you put the hands on the floor, dumping your feet back here can cause that to happen. Okay, so you got to prepare the core. Like I just kind of felt that, so that's what reminded me to tell you. So I just warmed up coming, I guess, the front part of the burpee, but now I got to warm up the back, getting back into the starting position. So from here, I'm just gonna, that's easy for me. My hips, they don't fall through. It also prepares my toes for that hard extension landing. My toes, when they, boom, when they hit the floor, my right big toe, it needs a little time to get warmed up for that. So that's another thing we have to, at least I have to do, is kind of scale or graduate the entry into. Okay, so now my core, my body has had a little time to warm up for that. So let's see how this goes. Okay. So if that goes well, now I can combine that jump back with a smooth glide into the push-up. Or we'll try. Okay, try again. So by emphasizing the deceleration or the eccentric portion of a faster exercise like a burpee, it's very energy expensive for me. So just a few of those makes me tired. And then we're gonna, so I like to start my burpees from the standing position like most people do. So it starts with a fast eccentric or decelerated movement that then I'm then going to absorb all the energy of my falling body weight, explosively bring it back, and then again explosively jump it off the ground. Let's see how this, I'm just gonna do a small jump. I'm sorry, I'm not really used to talking as I do these, so if I'm a little stumbly with my explanations, please bear with me. Hopefully as I practice this more, I'll get a little smoother and concise. All right, let's go one more time. Once again, when I'm warming things up, everything should feel easy. I should almost feel like I'm not working hard enough, because if I do that, it irritates my nervous system just enough to actually want to bring me up to another level. But if I just pulverize myself trying to get it done, then my body is like, doesn't want that, and it actually starts pulling back, and it affects my performance in a bad way. All right, enough talk, here we go. Okay. Let's go one more time. Okay. And yes, that landing is a little bit hard. I didn't fully use the squat to decelerate it, but while I'm warming up, I just want to make sure I can do one rep as smoothly as possible. And I know I can take that landing. It's okay, it's not going to break the bank. I'm now going to see if I can go into 2 reps, and the significance of the second rep is that off of that tuck jump, I have to land in such a way where I'm symmetrical enough so when I put my feet on the ground, I can re-enter the second rep with a good position. All right, here we go. Okay, so I stopped at, I don't know what that was, 4, 5. I never make repetitions the objective. I just go, like I said, for this one, I'm just trying to be smooth and match my breathing pattern to the burpee. Once one of those starts to degrade, I stop and I rest. My nervous system has been doing this for 55 years, and I've learned to be a little more gentle and kind with it than I used to be. And in return, it tends to keep me, I might have conditions, but I'm not quite injured yet, and I want to stay that way. All right. So I'm using the retraction, make my feet right, the retraction of my shoulder blades to reciprocally inhibit the pectoralis, my chest muscles. So when the muscles between my shoulder blades contract, there has to be a simultaneous signal to everything that opposes them. These guys, that signal has to tell them to relax. I'm also trying to extend my spine, expand my rib cage. All right. Okay, one more time. Landings were asymmetrical on the last two. Okay, and like I said, this is my actual workout. And all I do is I spend about 20 or 30 minutes practicing, well, a skill. I don't like to call it an exercise because that means I have to like do sets and reps and go to failure. This to me is a skill, especially because I haven't done it in such a long time. So with my age and my health status, I can only recover from 20 or 30 minutes of practicing some skill because I have to do this every day. There's too many abilities that I need to cultivate and keep revisiting, otherwise I lose them. And in order for me to get all of them, I have to do something every day, or I try to. So, but that being the case, I'm no longer concerned with even getting that much stronger in any given lift. There's a certain base amount of strength I like to maintain, and if I go below that, then I might be concerned. But okay, one more time. And we're gonna go inside and make some dinner. All right. Okay, so like I said, I should always have the sense that I can do more. But once again, I'm not trying to condition myself with these. The impact forces into my system are enough at, what was that, 3 reps? And I'm just trying to, to me, the tuck burpee is, the value of it comes more from the coordination of all the different systems. The deceleration, the level change from horizontal to upright, and then the explosive factor of actually jumping high. I like to tuck or get my knees to touch because box jumping to me is great. It's a good thing to do. The only problem I have with box jumping is in real life, the times I've had to jump, there's no box that I could land on and then plan how to come down from there or take my time. In real life, the times I've had to jump, usually I'm having to cover a horizontal distance, and if I have to jump up, like jump over a log, I'm not gonna land on the log unless I have to, but I like to jump over and then land down on it. So the tuck just ensures that I am maintaining a certain standard of explosive expression, vertical expression into the ground. Okay, one more time. Damn shoelace. Okay. Yeah, when jumping rope or doing any kind of jumping in general, burpees, don't be a dummy like me. Make sure your shoes are properly tied. I know the execution was getting a little sloppy, a little heavy, but that's my last set. I knew it was going to be my last set. So it's okay for me to do one set like that. Okay, I don't think there's any reason for you to just watch me huff and puff. I think I've said enough. If you're still here, thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching. And if there's anything I can clarify, please let me know in the comments, or you can DM me at Bill Myatt at Instagram. Okay, aloha.